If you only looked at the final score, you'd think this was going to be another story about basketball. The Indiana Fever had just delivered one of their most impressive performances of the season, lighting up the scoreboard with 123 points and reminding the rest of the league why they're becoming one of the toughest teams to slow down. Caitlin Clark was in rhythm, her teammates were knocking down shots, and the offense looked almost unstoppable from the opening tip. Normally, that's the kind of performance that dominates every headline, but this time it didn't. Within minutes of the final buzzer, the conversation took a completely different turn. Cameras followed players toward the locker room, reporters gathered around the podium, and attention shifted away from the box score. One interview suddenly became the center of the sports world, and before the night was over, millions of people had already formed opinions about it. The player at the center of that storm wasn't Caitlin Clark, it was Sophie Cunningham. When reporters asked Cunningham about comments she had previously made regarding women's sports, she didn't avoid the topic or try to soften her position. Instead, she calmly repeated what she believed. She said she supported protecting women's sports for biological women and emphasized that her views hadn't changed. At the same time, she also said she didn't hate anyone and believed respectful conversations were possible even when people disagreed. Her tone surprised many people. She wasn't yelling, she wasn't trying to create a viral moment. She simply answered the question directly. Ironically, that calm approach may have made the reaction even bigger. Within minutes, clips from the interview began spreading across social media. Supporters praised Cunningham for standing by her beliefs despite knowing criticism would follow. Others strongly disagreed with her comments and argued that her position excluded transgender athletes. The discussion quickly spread beyond basketball fans and into broader conversations about sports, fairness, and inclusion. It didn't matter where someone stood on the issue. Everyone seemed to be talking about it. What made the timing especially interesting was that the Fever had just finished one of their best games of the year. Instead of celebrating offensive records and standout performances, fans, analysts, and media personalities suddenly found themselves debating a completely different subject. That wasn't something anyone expected when the game tipped off. But to understand why Cunningham's comments generated so much attention, you have to look at everything surrounding the Fever this season. Few athletes have attracted as much attention as Caitlin Clark. Ever since entering the professional game, every move she's made has been analyzed from every possible angle. Every deep three-pointer becomes a highlight. Every assist trends online. Every mistake becomes a talking point. And perhaps more than anything else, every physical play involving Clark sparks debate. Some fans believe opponents have defended her more aggressively than almost any rookie or young star in recent memory. Others argue that's simply what happens when a player arrives with enormous expectations and instantly becomes one of the league's biggest attractions. Regardless of which side people support, one fact is difficult to ignore. Games involving Clark rarely stay confined to basketball. After nearly every nationally televised matchup, clips circulate online showing hard fouls, physical screens, contested drives, or emotional exchanges between players. Fans slow the footage down, debate referee decisions frame by frame, and argue over whether officials handled key moments correctly. Sometimes those debates disappear after a day, other times they last for weeks. This game became one of those moments. Throughout the matchup, Clark experienced the same aggressive defense fans have grown accustomed to seeing. Several possessions drew criticism online, with viewers questioning whether certain plays should have resulted in fouls. Other fans defended the officiating, arguing that playoff-caliber basketball naturally becomes more physical. That's what made the discussion so intense. People weren't simply reacting to one possession. They were reacting to months of similar conversations. By the end of the night, social media wasn't just discussing Indiana's victory, it was debating the entire season. Every replay seemed to generate another opinion. Every angle created another argument. Sports talk shows quickly picked up the discussion, asking whether officiating around Clark had become one of the league's biggest storylines. Former players offered different perspectives. Analysts broke down individual possessions. Fans filled comment sections with thousands of opinions. And while all of that was unfolding online, Cunningham's interview added another layer to an already